Cell shading or toon shading basically means adding flat colors to your artwork instead of gradients to make the artwork appear more flat, or well, something like that, I don't really know. This style is mainly used in comic books and cartoons. Telltale games are very well known for using cell shading in their games such as The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us and The Borderlands. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I created this cell shading effect in Blender using a simple material node setup. Before I start the video, if you are new to my channel, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more upcoming videos. And with that being said, let's begin the video. So the first part of this project was basically modeling the hospital hallway through which Rick Grimes walks through when he wakes up from his coma. This wasn't all that difficult. All I had to do was create some planes and cubes and scale them up and down. I also created some doors using the Boolean modifier and a plane with a solidify modifier. For the texturing part, all I did was create a new material and add a shader to RGB node connected to a color ramp between the principal BSDF and the material output. And if you change the color ramp to constant and go to the render view and move the slider, you can see that the lighter parts are becoming white and the darker parts are becoming black. Now you can add as many layers of colors as you want, but you still won't get any more details. That's because these are just flat colors and they do not have any textures to them. So what I did for that, I downloaded a texture from polyhaven.com, imported the diffuse, roughness, metallic and a normal map and connected them to the principal BSDF. And now you can see when I move the slider we get much more detail which looks much more better, and you can also adjust the brightness and darkness of the material by moving all these different sliders. And for the walls I created a new material, added the texture maps to the principal BSDF, and again I did a shader to RGB node connected to a color ramp between the material output and the principal BSDF. I did the same for the roof and the doors. I also modeled the doorknob and the wood plank blocking the two main doors. And now for the don't open dead inside on the door, I downloaded a texture from Google, imported that texture into Photoshop and separated it from the background and imported that image into Blender as a plane and placed it in front of the doors. I later removed it in the video and just added that texture on top of the diffuse texture map. And after the basic texturing part was done, I also wanted to add some moss to the surface, so for that I duplicated the shaders and added some moss texture to them and connected that to the original shaders using a mixed shader, and then I added an image texture to create a mask and hand painted the mask to tell Blender where the moss should be visible and where it shouldn't be. I added the same moss material to the walls, doors and the roof. I mainly painted the moss on the sides because that's where it usually appears the most. After that, I also created some grass using the particle system just to give it a feeling that this building has been abandoned for way too long and no one's ever been here. And after that, I added some more particle systems. I added some bricks, some concrete blocks, a ladder and an old cabinet and just different assets to fill out the scene. I also modeled some tube lights because I had to place them somewhere in the scene because the light was literally coming from nowhere at this point, so I had to add them to give the sense that the light was coming from the tube lights. And after everything was done, I created a stroke and added a line art modifier to each object separately because I had to change the thickness of each object separately, and for some reason they really slowed down the viewport, so I had to render it a few times to see which settings looked best. After the rendering part was done, I imported the image into Photoshop, added a camera raw filter and some different filters just to make the scene pop a bit more, and it was finally finished. This was the final render. I'm really happy with the result. It's really cool to see how easily you can create some cel shading effect in Blender using a simple material node setup. I had a lot of fun in this project. Tell me what you guys think about it, and if you like my video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and I hope I see you guys in the next video.